Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to Long Stash.
Long Stash.
Long Stash.
Hey, everyone.
And Ritchie, Longman Tarot, and
Hi.
I, Tarot Stash, are thrilled to have Chris from Elemental Cartomancy joining us today. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for asking.
Of course. And we had a previous guest who was unavailable today. And so, Chris stepped up and, made it happen.
Yep. You're scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Oh, stop that. Hang on.
Well, yeah, Queen, please. Yeah, there you go. I'm just like going... I'm not going, I don't know what to say to that, because sometimes the bottom of the barrel is where all the flavor is.
Good point.
So, and all right. So, everybody, thank you very much for being here. We are simulcasting this.
We are.
And I know this is something that doesn't happen very often these days, but we're simulcasting. So, and so let's first find out from you, Chris, what do you have coming up on your channel?
So I believe that I'm live with Simon on Thursday. We're going to be doing a throwback Thursday on this deck, Tarot of the Abyss by Anna Turin, which is kind of I've got it out to use for the readings, but maybe got some more decks around me, just one or two. You might be able to see some. So I might venture into other decks as well. Other than that, there's not much on my channel. I am doing a reading event. Oh gosh, now I need to remember the date. On the 11th of August. So that's like maybe 2 weeks on Sunday. So if anyone is local to Glasgow and Scotland, then come and see us. We'll be at the Haberdashery. It's at an event called Glasgow Witchy Bazaar from 12 till 4 on the Sunday. I know that Scott, who's someone that kind of chats in my chat sometimes, he stays in Fife in Scotland, I think, and I know that he's going to pop down for it. So he is. So nice. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to meeting him. But yeah, that's all I've really got going on just now. What about you, lovely gents?
And yes, Longman Tarot, what do you have coming up? And by the way, all of the links are below, so show your support. I'm always working.
I am putting some content out. I've started putting videos rather than doing lives together. I went to Glastonbury and put together a massive long vlog. Now I'm going to do a video about all the stuff that I got and the bits and pieces, and I'm planning to get that out this week. Gerald, we have a live coming up on Friday, don't we? About hearing, the sense of hearing is one of our
Tarot the Stash way, and and the senses. So this is perfect.
The senses, that's it.
Yeah. Yes. And I'm Tarot Stash. I have later today. I have a live hosted by Purple Elephant Deb H. and Medium Betsy Palmer, and I are guests. We're going to be talking about. Where's the exact words? The consequence of fear. Ooh. So this is going to be a good one. And then later this evening, I am doing a live with Tanis from Twillo Lifestyle Community about how do people learn tarot? How do you want to learn about tarot? Because I'm going to be teaching an online class, a tarot class. So I'm looking at what people will want to do and how they'll learn. And then tomorrow, Tuesday, is Tuesdays with Tarot Stash, exclusively on Jane the Secret Tarot. I always love saying that. And then Jamie and I have a really great show for back and forth. We're going to be playing with the Tildwick and the Impressionist Tarot, and maybe the Location Tarot. So you'll have to join us for that. And
Today, Beth is asking, Gerald.
do what?
What time later today, please?
Oh, good question. It is at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, and 4 p.m. with Deb. So, and okay, we have, by the way, everybody knows that we have, well, the best chatters, and we also have the best lurkers. We have the work lurkers, and we have the future lurkers. So thank you, everybody, for being here. And before I forget to say it, this is for entertainment purposes only. Do not make decisions based upon what we say. Seek professional assistance. Really. And hold up before you put in that you want a reading, because we've got a special reading that we're doing. Aquila B24 is here. Hello.
Hi.
Look, Deanne
Hi,
is here. And Ange, great to see you. Jane the Seeker. And Plucky Heroine is here. Hello. And Plucky is catching the replay, so thank you.
Oh, lovely.
Debbie, Aquarius Owl. And we have Tropical Empress in Spirit, whose name is Amanda. Have you ever met Chris and Ritchie, Amanda? There's these amazing...
Thank you.
Hi, Amanda. Nice to meet you.
Great to have you here. Beth is here, Aspasia Rising. And Beth has said it's great to see you, Chris.
Oh, hi, Beth.
And yes, Beth, just to be clear, I did purchase responsibly, and I knew my limits, and I ordered directly from the creator's website for the 5th tarot. It's not the 5th element, but it's a deck that Nancy at Crohn's Intuition was using today. So, look who's here. Ken, sick in bed lurking. Dude, you should be, we are going to infiltrate your dreams, and you're welcome.
I thought you were going to say you're going to infiltrate his bed.
No, I would never do that. Why would I do that? No. Madame Maru's House of Cards is here. Merita, it's good to see you. And, Jenny Berlin is here. Thank you, Jenny. And Hermit, the Hermit's Cave, Simon was like when I heard my name. So, well, yeah, it's because you guys are doing a show on Thursday. So, and all right. Donna Riedler is here. Hi, Donna.
Hi, Donna.
And yeah. Oh, should I say what I said backstage about the three of us being on screen? It could be political. I'm just so going to look. 3 happily married men in long-term relationships. The world has not ceased to exist as we know it. And guess what? Life goes on. It's all good. So it's like, and Beth says, I'm waiting for Under the Oak for Lammas.
Oh, nice.
And using the Tarot of the Witch's Garden. Nice.
Nice one.
If I've missed anybody, my apologies. Mods, please be careful. And whose channel are you on that you're not a moderator?
Well, I posted it in the StreamYard one.
Oh, got it.
So I must be, maybe there's one of yours that I'm not a moderator on, and well, I'm not a moderator on my own.
No.
Well,
I don't know how it works.
Okay. And Jenny Berlin said, going to Scotland is on my bucket list. Jenny said, I'm Scottish. And if you want a reading from any of us, contact us, because, Chris is doing that now. But, we can have this happen. Mm-hmm. And thank you for putting in Chris's channel. Jane the Seeker is overachieving and going into is hopping in chat. Tiffany Tisdale, thank you. Linda de Gonzalez is here.
Hi,
and I'm
Hey,
reading
Linda.
with Linda. Have you met Linda before, Chris?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Ritchie, have you met Linda?
Not sure. Don't think so. Maybe.
Okay. Well, I'm just glad everybody is here and I'm having fun. Marjorie McConnell is here. Hello.
Hi, Marjorie.
And so just getting caught up. Mary Hernandez Walker is here. Hello. Jonathan Daly, great to see you.
Hi,
Jane Atkins, this is great. Rossi is work lurking. Elsbeth is here. And so, all right. So, since we're talking about, since, you know, this is the long stash wheel of the year.
Hang on.
What?
Long stash.
Wait a minute. Do that again. Look at that, everybody. Wow. That is so good.
I had to have it.
Is it, who does that look like? Is it that girl? So I don't know. That's
you've just made Gerald stay, so you have, Richie. Look how happy he is. Look at his happy wee face.
I'm like going, oh my God, that's incredible.
One moment it's Gerald, the next it's long stash.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It's amazing what you can find in charity shops these days.
Yes. Chris shows up in a gold block in the chat. Oh, that's because that's your, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm on it too.
So, and Beth is always loved Scotland. So I had my DNA done. I was told that I'm predominantly Scottish. It all made sense. Angus area. So, okay. So let's talk a little bit about the celebration Lammas or Lunasa. And I am going to put Ritchie on the spot. We're going to do this briefly so that we can get to your readings. So,
Lammas, Lunasa, same name. It's the first of the harvests of the year. Basically, it's the bread making corn wheat harvest. It used to be called loaf mass, which is where Lammas comes from. So it's the cutting of the corn, the first harvest, and then of course Mabon is the second one, finally ending with Samhain and the pumpkins and the gourds harvest. So yeah, it's the first harvest, even though it still feels like it's summer here in the Northern Hemisphere. In fact, in the UK, it officially feels like the start of the summer because it's been pretty rubbish in the springtime. So it's normally hot. I like to think of it as the season of the wasps because that's when they all seem to come out about Lammas, isn't it, and start bothering you. So that's a good sign that Lammas is here. It's still hot, but you're likely to get bothered by some hornets or wasps.
Listen, Richie, I do not need you putting that energy out into the world. My door is open here, and I don't need wasps joining me for readings. Thank you very much. So just you take that witchcraft and put it back.
Embrace it, if that's the case. The magic of long stash.
So, yes, the magic of long stash. Well, and also, you know, this is the first harvest, and you know, many of us are not actually out in the yard and the gardens and doing that, but we are manifesting things that we put out there, whether it be new relationships, new thoughts, new feelings, new jobs. These are actually things that we start to see those things coming to fruition. And yes, it's hot. It's a great time of the year to eat the food that's in season.
Yes.
As well as you know, there's still a lot of stuff to go on to do, but it's also really important to pause every once in a while and enjoy the full beauty of summer.
Yeah.
And what's around. I mean, Chris, you have two amazing puppies. So taking those puppies out, you're going to start seeing all sorts of stuff. And there's still a lot of activity. So it's a beautiful thing.
It's true. I mean, we started to notice the evenings getting a little bit shorter, and yet the temperature is ranking up as well. So it's a bit of a strange one.
Yes. Moving forward, this will be known as the season of the wasp. And by the way, Liz in Awe is here. Hello, Liz. Thank you for being here. And okay, and Donna Riedler says, Elsbeth, Chris's channel's name is first alphabetically on my list, so I can get to it quickest. But I can only be in one chat or I would go bonkers, but I do pop in the others. Well, I'm just glad everybody's here. So, yeah. And I did a show last night with Colleen the Cool Crone. We were talking about Lammas or Lunasa from the Wiccan or pagan standpoint. And it is definitely a time of celebration because when the crops are ready to harvest, in farms, you go from one farm to another because you help each other, and then you celebrate because you have to feed all of those people. So, and
also it's a fire festival as well.
Yes,
we do love a fire festival just to stir things up a bit.
I do enjoy flaming every once in a while. Just saying that. Lightfoot is here. Hello. So, is there anything that you want to say about this holiday, Chris, who doesn't pay attention to the holidays until we invite him on?
That's very true, and for that reason, probably not. I'm just excited to get in and do the readings. But I appreciate Ritchie dumbing it down for me. And for anyone who's like me who doesn't really follow the Sabbats and the pagan festivals, so I don't think I've got anything to add.
Yeah, Lammas is both the god Lu and the goddess Bridge. Yes, and by the way, Bohemian Rose Tarot is here. Hello, and Save Bees Now. Hello. How do you feel about wasps? So. We are. I'm not stirring things up. So what we are doing for our readings is the first position is what needs harvesting. The second is what needs tending, and the third one is what needs celebrating. So if you would like, a reading, we will do as many of them as we can. If you have a specific question, please understand that these will be the prompts that we will be using. And to clear this up, you can, the readers, I try to use I try to do one card, for each position. However, because this is Lammas, Ritchie can use as many cards as he wants for his readings. I mean, and so
I need an excuse for that.
Do what?
Like I need an excuse for it's Lammas to do that.
Well, yeah. I've gotten teased, and so Save the Bees Now. Her name is Christine.
Oh, hi, Christine.
I'm going to write that down. And Christine, great, Christine. Okay. And we're okay. Wow.
Okay. Hey, Mary. My friend Mary is here, who's also going to be doing readings at the same event as me.
Positive Transformations. Is that her?
Yep.
Is that them?
Yep.
Great. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. All right. So I've got to pause the questions because right now I have 12 of them.
Wow.
I have Jane the Seeker, Madame Maru's House of Cards, Aspasia Rising, Jenny Berlin, Ken, Rossi, Aquila B24, Aquarius Al, Linda de Gonzalez, Jonathan Daly, and let me see, did I miss anybody? Jenny, I've already got your, and okay, so I've got you, Christine. So, and you know what? Christine is going to go first because I'm going through a bunch of stuff and ascending at an accelerated rate because my B day is tomorrow. I do need a reading, please. Well, we are going to do that reading for you. So we'll switch positions. I will switch positions. And so whenever is, and by the way, keep your cards out. Don't shuffle them back in so that at the end we can show all 3 cards. So
can't guarantee that, but I'll do my best.
I said it once. So I understand. All right. So
Right.
Are we in the right order right now?
Yes, I've got, see, because
Christine, right, that's fine.
Below I actually have everybody in position, and I will rotate so that I know where we are. So Chris, you will be answering position 2.
Of course, you've got post-its mimicking the screen. Why does that not surprise me?
Yeah, well, yes, we all know our our strengths. So all right.
Right, Christine, what do you need to tend?
Said, I need to know if Aaron might match future partner, or will there be somebody else in the pick soon? Well, let's see what we've got. So, all right. Whenever you're ready, Ritchie. I don't know how many cards.
I pulled 2. This is a new deck. I've not used the Ehrenberg for a lot. I don't think I've used it for reading. I must have shuffled it at some point. So I'm just a bit like that. Oh, that's lovely backs. Look at those. Perfect for Lunasa. Browns and autumnal colours coming in. Okay, so it's Christine, isn't it? I pulled the Justice card for you. Well, I might need to turn my light off. It's a bit bright on there. And I've also pulled Page of Pentacles there. So what needs harvesting? This page actually does feel like he is harvesting or holding on to the seed of knowledge. Pages are about education partly and learning, and the Page of Pentacles is quite a slow burning way of understanding a situation. It can be somebody who likes to read every single word in the manual before they actually get involved in actually putting the shelf unit together. They're that kind of fastidious and not necessarily cautious, but careful. And that carefulness to understand the situation means that it can often be very slow. However, compared in with the Justice there does seem to be an understanding of a situation that is about to come to a closure. And it just feels like this page has perhaps been working away in the background, squirreling away, sorting out the paperwork, sorting out the situation that's going on there. So if there's a decision that now needs to be made, it is now the time to harvest that one, harvest the Justice card, because you do have right on your side. And I think that's important to point out. It's now time, having done that work, having had all the paperwork, all the study, all the thought process that goes on with it, to now drop that gavel. The decision has to be made.
Okay.
Well, I'm following on from that with what needs tending, and I've got the full. Let me zoom out a wee bit just so we can see the full card, because that's going to irritate me. There we go. Is that easy to see? Yep. The full card. So we tend to think of the full card. The full represents this kind of this spontaneity. You know, this kind of a doesn't. Can I swear? Can I swear? Just
yes.
Just as I know.
Fuck yes.
I can, right?
Yeah.
Good. So the fool's kind of a like zero fucks to give, very much a kind of a spontaneous feeling about it. So you might think to yourself, well, what, you know, that's not really something that needs tended. That's an instinct, and it's not something that you prepare for. But and particularly with what Ritchie was just talking about, if you've been hunkered down, like dealing with this quite intense situation, right? Let's be fair, Justice is, you know, it's not like rainbows and unicorns. That's potentially some tough stuff that you've had to be dealing with. We can kind of forget that sense of spontaneity, so it's important to I suppose to tend to Yeah, to tend to our sense of spontaneity, it's almost like you're practicing it, or you're giving yourself permission to just do something off the cuff, do something a bit random, do something just because it brings you a sense of joy. To bring yourself away from that tough, regimented, like cause and effect, consequences sense from that we get from justice. It's almost like you need to like kind of attend to yourself by allowing yourself to be a wee bit more spontaneous and just just go for it. Just enjoy things for the sake of enjoying them. So it's almost like giving yourself permission to just give zero fucks.
Yeah. And Christine said, I am a planner. We yet allow for spontaneity.
Good.
That's really good. That's good. Chris, I'm going to share what needs celebrating. And this is from the Spectral World Oracle, which is the Ace of Prisms, and it's the Iris Gateway. And what needs celebrating is seeing things in new ways. And I love this following the Fool, because you have to celebrate those new opportunities. This says it's imagination, inspiration, and ideas. So thinking about that, what needs celebrating? Those inspiration, ideas, and imagination. Don't discount those for the power that they have. So, all right. Did you all shuffle your cards? Oh, go ahead, Chris.
I was just going to say, I love as well that prisms separate white light into all of the spectrum of colours.
Yep.
You've got a black and white card from me, because that's a beautiful black and white pen and ink deck. And then that's what to tend, and then what to celebrate. You've got the prism bringing all of the kind of the colour and the essence into this. So that's actually quite a nice progression of cards.
Yeah, it's great. Thanks, Christine. Appreciate you being here. And
happy birthday, was it Christine's birthday as well?
Yes.
Happy birthday.
So all right, avert your gaze. So I am Jane the Seeker is up, and then next we have Merita, and then Beth, Jenny Berlin, and Ken. So
So I'm going first with what needs harvesting. So we've got the Six of Wands. So this is your sense of pride, your sense of like pride in whatever it is that you're doing, a kind of a sense of celebration, I guess. The fact that it's a six has come after the 5, so it kind of suggests that you've been through some stuff in order to get to where you are, to get to the kind of this exalted position that you're in. So I mean that's all brilliant. But I feel as though you're not giving yourself the credit that you deserve. So what needs harvesting is your actual sense of pride, your sense of self, pride in yourself, just being proud of yourself. Like take that bow. Don't be overly like humility is a great thing, but we need to give ourselves the credit that we deserve, particularly when we put a lot of work into something. Like there's nothing wrong with being proud of yourself and showing that. So that's what I want you to harvest. It's that kind of a sense of, do you know what? I'm going to celebrate myself a wee bit here.
Oh yeah, I love that. And I have what needs tending is the 6 of Pentacles. So this is about sharing, and it is a 6. It's about sharing. It's also remembering that you are part of the balance of this. So what needs tending is how much are you giving away of yourself instead of taking care of yourself? And there may be an opportunity for you to ask people for help. So what needs tending is to pay very close attention to what you're doing with your resources, and what you're giving away for free and what you're giving away in exchange. And 2 6s. So, yep. What do you got, Ritchie?
The 3 of Cups here. Beautiful. The bonfire here. It's about the celebration that Chris was just talking about. This is about getting together and celebrating literally with your friends, your family, those ones who you feel you should be celebrating, those people that would help you celebrate, not just along for the ride. They're people that have been with you through thick and thin. Perhaps you've helped them, they've helped you, but it is a time to come together and celebrate everyone's achievements. Look how the three faces here almost make a circle, because they're almost melding into one here at that one there. So it's yeah, celebration. I've also pulled for you one of the familiar spirits oracle, which I haven't used, and you have the fire dragon there on this one there, and it's saying the power of being. And again, that's about knowing when to have that power and how to use it and how to master it. So again, it's a wonderful time just to go out, celebrate life. That's what it's about.
Yeah. And I like this. Merita said the celebration needs celebrating.
Yeah.
So, and Jane said this is perfect. So there you go. 2 6s and a 3.
Yeah.
It's pretty incredible. Thank you, Jane.
Thank you, Jane. Enjoy the celebrations.
All right. Merita is up next. So avert your gaze, avert your gaze. So, and then on deck, we have Beth, Jenny Berlin, Ken, Rossi, Aquila B24, Debbie, Linda De Gonzalez, Jonathan Daly, and Jane Atkins. Those are up.
Candy's here as well. Hi, Candy.
Candy is here. Hi, Candy. Yes, Candy is here. Okay, so I should probably pay attention and start shuffling cards, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
Okay, so what needs harvesting? I have the 9 of Swords from this deck that hashtag Ritchie made me do it.
Oh, lovely.
So this is the 9 of Swords. What needs harvesting is, what's interesting is in the harvest, you take a sickle and you actually go through and you harvest the wheat. You crack it down. So what needs harvesting is that the thoughts that you're having, the bad dreams, you're done with those, and they have served a purpose. Let those go, because now stuff needs to dry out so it can be used later. So this is very much a card of with the 9, it's you're pretty much done with the suit, the strength. So your thought processes are almost finished up. So I'll honor that. So
lovely. What needs tending? I've pulled the Wheel of Fortune for you. This is a reminder, a bit like you were saying just now, is that this cycle that we go through, the Wheel of the Year, the 8 Sabbats, they're always going to happen. They're never going to stop turning. This is always going. We're always going to be here doing long stash until we're not. The whole cycle is ongoing, and that wheel does change. I've also pulled for you the Queen of Cups. Really weird. When I was dishing or dealing the deck out and sorting it through today, this card just kept falling out. So I'm really not surprised that this Queen of Cups is coming in. What you were saying, Gerald, about, with your swords and everything and the emotions there, it's also time to look after yourself. And from what's happened with what needs harvesting, it's now time to look after yourself. The Queen of Cups is a beautiful, wonderful person, freely giving out love, emotion, and care. But also remember that implies to yourself as well. And if things are feeling like a little bit fraught, and this time of year, energies can be all over the place, but with all the planets doing all sorts of strange retrograde things at the moment, it's really important to make sure your self-care is paramount. And I know, Gerald, before in the past, we talked about how Sabbats are very good goalposts to check in, or gates to check in with yourself, to do some self-care, to clean your magical items, whatever it is. But that is what this Queen is saying. Check in with yourself. listen to the emotions that you've been through, and just let the waters calm if they need to.
That's incredible.
So it's potentially a wee bit of context around what Gerald and Ritchie are saying. And Marita, I really want you to listen to what Gerald and Ritchie were saying, because I feel as though that's the essence of this reading. And the reason I say that is because I've got a Pentacles card. I've got the 8 of Pentacles. So what you're celebrating is the work that you've put in, the mastery that that you've gained. Whatever it is, you've through practice and through application, you've really achieved something here in your kind of a physical material world. What that tells me, and given the cards that Ritchie and Gerald have pulled, is that potentially you've found yourself recently with a wee bit of I can deal with my thoughts, I can look after myself mentally and emotionally later. Now I'd really just need to hunker down and get the work done, which is fine. This is saying to you can celebrate, you've really achieved something through doing that, you've got a lot out of it. But when you need to remember that you're not just a physical person, we're emotional beings, we're mental beings as well, and we need to make sure mental health is such a big thing. Mental and emotional health is such a big thing right now. Never before have we realised the importance of these things. So I think that it's great, whatever it is that this is withering on about, whatever it is this is talking about, I think that it's great that you've achieved this, that you've mastered your craft in whatever way you've wanted to do. And definitely this is a time to celebrate that. And maybe through celebrating it and realising that you've put in the work and you've achieved a lot, that will naturally lead to some healing of this high mental energy that Gerald's saying, or the kind of the emotional energies that Ritchie's saying. But I would really like you to pay attention to what they're saying and make sure that you're looking after yourself in that way, as well as kind of the physical stuff, because this isn't the be all and end all as much as it might seem like it sometimes.
Yeah, I like how. Go ahead.
Can I just, if we hold our cards up, look how we go from dark blue, lighter blue to no blue at all. The blues are just disappearing out of this reading.
Yeah, and I think Marita, nailed this first card. Mow down the worry, move it on. So, thank you. Next, we have Beth, and then Jenny Berlin and Ken. Please let us know that you are here and avert your gaze. Avert your gaze. So, and Marita said, "Thank you for that lovely message." And Beth is here.
Okay, what needs harvesting? Why pull 2 cards when 3 jump out at the same time? That's what I'm saying.
I agree.
They're all swords. Well, 2 of them are swords. So let's get down to it. We've got the Ace of Swords and we've got the King of Swords here. So what needs harvesting? There's been a lot of thought that's gone on here, Beth. You've got the Ace of Swords, the idea of this sword being passed to you to your thoughts, to clear that way, to cut the smog away, to make things a little bit clearer or make things a lot clearer. Look how this person's hand is almost invisible, but still holding the hilt of that sword there. You're having this ability, as I said, for clarity, and the King of Swords is telling us that you have now mastered this clarity, this thought process. You can see the situation incredibly clear. This makes perfect sense with the 3rd card that jumps out, which of course is the Magician. So now you've got the thought process. It's now time to bring that thought down. You know that we talk about the Magician card channeling between above and below. It's now time to bring those thoughts down and start to put them into the practice, to come into your own and actually start making it a reality.
Nice.
Cool. I've got the Page of Pentacles, and interestingly in this card we actually see someone tending their garden. There's a big temptation to read this very literally and say, Beth, maybe you need to get out and, do some weeding. But what I do notice is that in this deck, I love how she brings all the courts together, and we actually see the Knight of Pentacles approaching from behind the page here. This suggests to me, actually, and no ego in this, you can put it in the chat if I'm talking a load of shite, please do. But I've got a feeling of like preparing for something. It might be that you get visitors coming, or it might be that there's some kind of a deadline looming, or there's something that you're kind of preparing for. That's what you need to tend to. That's what you need to concentrate on right now. There's something coming up that you know that you need to kind of get yourself organized for. There's the fact that it's a Pentacles card, the fact that we actually see a key in his hand suggests that it might be to do with like the physical preparation of like, I've got visitors coming, I need to change the bed in the spare room and, get everything ready that way. That's kind of where my head is going. But like that is preparation. So it'll either make sense or it won't. Gerald, you're muted, young man.
I know I'm muted, and because I was saying, I was reading what Beth posted. She said I hate gardening, so I'll go with the symbolism. So there you go. And she also said, definitely, Chris. Yes, my 70th birthday. All 4 of my kids and their significant others and grandchildren. I've got to prepare my house. Spot on.
Oh, good.
So that's nice. So what I have for you, Beth, is I have the 3 of relics, or tempered wicks. So what needs celebrating? I like this idea of it's about purpose. It's about morality. It's about meaning. So if your 70th birth is 70th birth, if your 70th birth, if your 70th birthday is coming up, it's time for you to really go, you know what? This is who I am, and this is where I'm going, and honor that. And I think it's an interesting thing because you have got so much purpose. And relic. Watch it, Gerald. Celebrating being a relic, yes, and yes, that's exactly it. Because that's exactly what you should do. But the other thing that is important is, I'm a firm believer is you should celebrate the number of days you have been alive, the years. So your 70th birthday should result in 70 days of celebration. So, all right, there we go. And I'm not
an amusing misspeak, Gerald. If Beth's 70th birth is coming up, then geez, I think you need to tell Mr. Rising to give it a rest. If your 70th birth is coming up.
Or, yeah, okay, there you go. So there you go, Beth. Thank you. Jenny Berlin is up next. And then Ken, and then Rossi, and Aquila B24. So, oh, sweetie, I already bought myself an amethyst ring. Well, there you go. Avert your gaze. Avert your gaze. Oop, there we go. So Jenny Berlin is here, and I'm glad you bought yourself an amethyst ring. That's cool.
Okay. I've got the 4 of Pentacles for this, and there are some big-ass pentacles in this card. It's almost like the character is hiding behind their pentacles, where they just want to be seen and defined by the stuff that they've got. This is what needs to be harvested, but reading that quite broadly, it's like this is the shit that we're digging up and we're going to deal with, right? So maybe this is your relationship to the stuff that you've got. Maybe it's kind of how you want other people to see you. Maybe it's about how you value yourself. Do you know what I mean? When you kind of at the end of a long, hard day, when you take a look at yourself, like, do you find yourself being quite self? I've used the word self far too much now, but do you feel that you're being too self-critical? Are you quite judgmental of yourself based on like kind of like the stuff that you've got, or maybe the things that you've achieved? Maybe you tell yourself, oh, you know, I should be there and I'm only here. You know, we can sometimes be really, really like superficial when it comes to our self judgments. And I feel like that's what this is kind of a bringing up for you. I feel like this is kind of just asking you to be a wee bit just a wee bit gentler with yourself and a wee bit less like I suppose less self-critical. Less when I use the word superficial, I don't mean that in a I don't mean it quite like I don't mean that you're a superficial person. I mean more like what I was saying about like our kind of the way we look at ourselves. Do you know what I mean? How we look at our own self-worth and self-value. Like that's something that runs really deep, and we're not always the best at appreciating that in ourselves. So yeah, that's kind of a bit of a run around what I think that means for you.
Chris, I'm going to build right off on that. What needs tending is what needs tending is you honoring the high priestess aspect of yourself. It's time for you to, you know, going into, you know, you've harvested from the Four of Pentacles, and now you need to tend to it and allow it to support who you are. Anytime I see the high priestess, it reminds me to, it reminds me to trust your intuition, trust your divine feminine, realize that you have a whole heck of a lot more power and strength than what you might recognize. So by all means, honor yourself as the high priestess. I think it's, I think that's amazing. So
lovely. I'm just putting a little warning, trigger warning up here for anyone that doesn't like snakes. So, because I've pulled a card of the snake here. I love the face on this one there. And this says transmutation of emotions. A bit like that Queen of Cups we were talking about earlier on. But if you have a little look, the symbol above this snake's head, it's like doing some alchemy or chemistry, that something's moving from one state into the other, and it's to do with emotions. This makes perfect sense. I've also pulled the Eight of Wands from the bone fire here. So what needs celebrating? It's almost like the emotions that you have been working with, particularly for this part of the year so far. It now feels like they're almost raining down on you. Now, it could be that some people find that a bit threatening. They feel like, you know, they're like asteroids coming in to hit you, but they're not. These are emotions that are firing off. There's a great, wonderful energy. It's positive. And if you have a look, we've got jewels along the way. We've got a rainbow roadway to walk along. It's almost like a sort of Wizard of Oz kind of vibe that goes on there when all this magic's in the air. So it feels like you've got to celebrate the changes that are going to happen, the changes that may have happened, the changes that are still going to happen there, but they are joyous changes. And to do again with emotions, I think, as the snake card would suggest, but it's fast energy and it can send you into a whirlwind, almost a fire-like exuberance that's going on here. Mm-hmm. So it's a fire festival, Lammas. So go out and celebrate with some fire, you know, go and have a bonfire or a fire pit in the garden if you're allowed, and just work with emotions. Some people like to burn their thoughts and their ideas, or set intentions for the next 6 weeks or so till the next Sabbath. So perhaps do something like that, but enjoy it, celebrate it.
That is so cool. Yeah. Thank you, Jenny. Yeah, that's wow.
Lovely.
Yes. All right. Ken is next, and then Rossi, Aquila B24, Aquarius Al, Linda De Gonzalez, Jonathan, Jane, and then if we can get Mari in, and then Nikki, we will do our best. So, avert your gaze. Avert your gaze. So,
Well, this is Ken that did the Hecatian Oracle, isn't it?
yes, it is.
So, Ken, I don't need my cards to tell me what you should celebrate, because a little birdie tells me that you gave an absolutely fantastic talk at the Tabby conference a couple of weekends ago, and that you were asked to step in at the very last minute, and that you pulled together an absolutely fantastic presentation. So, congrats on that, by the way. I say a little birdie, I had a wee video call with Chris Butler at the weekend there, and we were just catching up, and he was telling me about your presentation. So congrats, well done.
Yes. Yeah. Every time Ken and I are together, I get to channel messages for him. You know, I'm not sure he wants to hear those messages, but that's okay. And he says, "Oh, thank you, Chris." Okay, so what I have is what needs harvesting. It's the 7 of Swords. Now, the 7 of Swords here, it is, we have swords, so they're out there, and they're, what's interesting is they're paying attention to the necessarily not the best thing, because they're drinking, they're looking up at the stars, but there's somebody in the background. And so I think what needs harvesting is it's an important thing for you to celebrate where you are and where you're going, but also you need to harvest that you have lots of eyes and you need to be looking around. I don't know how that's a harvest, but that's what I have for you, Ken. So,
what needs tending? Well, this is very obvious. I pulled the strength card for you, and bearing in mind you're tucked up in bed unwell at the moment, I think what you need to do is get yourself physically and spiritually make sure you're properly well before you even think about moving into the next the phase of it all, because you need to make sure you are physically fit. We often, we're very good at getting out of bed far too early or going back to work far too early. You need to give yourself the time to heal. The strength card is there. The magician's card is there. That's you there, Ken. I can see that there. So just a little warning, don't rush back until you are physically 100% fit to do so.
Will you say that again to make sure that Ken hears that?
Don't do anything until you're 100% well enough to do so.
We nearly fell off our seats there because we thought Ritchie had only pulled one card, but then he did that
yes. Yeah.
Ta-da!
78. I need that.
I know.
Yes.
I know.
Yes.
It's like a magician pulling a hanky out of the pocket or something.
Oh yeah. So.
Oh dear. So I've got the 10 of Swords, but I'm going to show you I use this 10 of Swords from the
I love
Abyss.
that one.
So this is like the culmination of your knowledge. Your ideas have come together, and it's almost like they've formed their own thing. Do you know what I mean? So this is a card about wisdom. This isn't your traditional 10 of Swords. This is more your numerological 10 of Swords, where all of our learning, our knowledge, our understanding, our wisdom kind of comes full circle. It comes together, and it's almost like it's getting ready to kind of fly off and do its thing. Now, I did start off saying, well done for your talk, and Chris told me a wee bit about what you were talking about, and I know that you were interested in how in Gerald's card we see people who are presenting their sword. It's almost like they're presenting their swords to the universe, the same way that you presented your ideas to the universe. There were some there's some shady people in the background in that card, in the same way that I have no doubt that there will be some shady fuckers, in the background listening to your ideas to see how they can, appropriate them for their own gain. You've got Ritchie, who, that strength card, like, as well as being about physical strength, it's a card about confidence as well. So really tending to your own confidence and your own self-belief. And then you're celebrating that idea because you're going to be sending that out into the world at some point, and it's going to be absolutely fantastic. So celebrate yourself and your own wisdom and how you can take an idea and actually turn it into. So, you know, the idea is now like something physical. It has life. It has a life of its own, and it's ready to kind of go off on its own. And that's an amazing thing. So it is.
I love that.
Beautiful.
There you go, Ken. And Ken did say yes, sir. So he's supposed to not be doing that. So Rossi is up. Aquila B24, Debbie, Linda, and so and Ken says 100%, guys. Thank you. It makes total sense.
Yeah,
good.
Well said.
Good. And so avert your gaze. Avert your gaze. So. And Rossi is here. And by the way, we had a lovely comment from Suzanne Woods, who said, I am a reader and I am always learning. You all are great.
Oh, that's very
Thank
kind.
you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Takes a long time to turn over that many cards, doesn't it, Chris? Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Jamie's not watching.
Over there.
Ouch. Right. What needs harvesting? It's the Seven of Pentacles. It's the card of harvesting. It's the card of do I, don't I? Do I hang in there a little bit longer? Or you know, is it ready to actually pick or harvest or farm, whatever I need to do? So, of course, I got a second card for you. Let's see what we're talking about here. We have the gorgeous Lovers there. Look at the beautiful apples growing on that tree, the hand entwined there, but of course, as we know, there's always that serpent hanging in the tree for you there. So what needs harvesting? It's a little bit like choices. The Lovers card for me is often about that choice, and I like that traditional meaning of the Lovers card here. And this is about choice in many ways as well. Do we harvest, or do we let it continue to grow? So what needs harvesting? It's that decision. What are you going to do? Because that choice needs to be made. Now is the point. It's the point in the year where we're talking about, do we cut the corn or do we leave it for another day? Don't leave it too long, because the sunny days can easily turn into rainy days, and then your harvest is absolutely ruined. So it's now time to have a check. Is it time to harvest? Do you have everything ready to go? Is your scythe nice and sharp? Do you have enough place to put all your bales? And what are you going to do with all that bread once you've made it? So those choices now need to be made.
That's really interesting that Ritchie gets a reading about choices, because I've got the Eight of Cups for this. I actually get a bit of a different interpretation. So the question is, what needs tending? Actually, what I feel like this is saying is that you're actually trying to tend to too many things at once. You need to kind of take on board that choice, those different kind of paths that are opening up to you in the Lovers card. You need to don't think about what needs tending. I want you to think about what you don't need to be tending. Right? We see someone who's like kind of walking away from a situation here. They were drinking a glass of wine. The wine's clearly off, and instead of like tending to it and nursing it and trying to just get through it for the sake of getting through it, they're pouring it out. They're saying, "No, do you know what? Fuck this. Enough is enough. I'm not going to keep doing this over and over again just because that is some sense of what I should be doing." With the Lovers, it's that kind of a responsibility versus like, what do I want to do for me? So it's not about what needs to be tended. You're trying to do too much, and you need to make that choice to put yourself first. And maybe it's about tending to yourself. Maybe that's kind of in a roundabout way where I'm coming to here.
Well, and I think what needs celebrating, this is great because it's the King of Prisms, so the spectral loop. What needs celebrating is the enlightenment and the bliss that you have. especially if, like with what Chris is saying, what needs not tending, because that frees up a lot of time and energy, and then you can do something with it. And Rossi said, just had a choice of shift to a new role at my job. I said yes.
Oh, wow.
So I think this is the spectral loop is a really important thing. You need to be celebrating the times when you have that bliss and you have that clarity. And I think it's a really important thing. Chris, I appreciate how you said that sometimes it's what do we need to stop watering and tending is really important. So
Yeah.
there you go, Rossi.
If we try and water everything in the garden, or if we try and tend to absolutely everything that we've got going on, then we end up not having enough to go around. So we need to prioritize. We need to ask ourselves, right, what actually needs my attention right now?
Yep.
That plant was watered yesterday. I don't need to water that again today. That's fine. The rain will take care of that. Let me concentrate on these few things that actually are really crying out for my attention. It's just about that. It's not about saying, oh, I don't care about you anymore, or you can just go F yourself. It's just about like prioritizing and ultimately putting yourself first, I think, isn't it?
Yeah. And Rossi says, I'm trying not to overthink. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So, all right. Thank you, Rossi. Akila B24, and then Debbie, Linda, Jonathan, and then Jane. So, avert your gaze. Avert your gaze. I should have some music for that, shouldn't I? Averting your gaze music. It'll be heavy.
Like, subscribe. You haven't done that for a long time. You need a tune for that one. Like, subscribe, press the bell.
So yes, I do.
I think you should just grab what Ritchie just did there. Yeah. Like you should find some way of harvesting that and use that as your avert your gaze music.
Avert your gaze.
I think that's an important thing. Yeah, I mean, we'll be working on that. So because we do have to remember, nobody wants this. This section of the video is brought to you by the word vapid. Everyone say it with me. Vapid. Vapid. Lacking flavor, zest, interest, animation, or spirit. Flat. Dull. Don't be vapid. Just like, share, and subscribe to our channels. Vapid.
I actually learned something there. I didn't know what that word meant.
There you go. Because none of us are vapid. So, all right, Akila B24, what do you got?
So, for what needs harvesting, I've got the 8 of Wands. It feels like things are moving quite quickly for you right now. Things are moving, fast paced. They're either coming at you fast paced, or you're moving. Things are moving up and on. But like quickly. It's an exciting time. It's a time where like things are moving beyond what you thought they were possible. As to what's to be harvested, I think it's just about being prepared for that. Usually, where we fall down here is like it's not normally a negative thing. Usually, it's a really positive energy that we kind of like we can get on and we can ride, and it can take us lots of different places. I think it can just surprise us sometimes because we never really thought that it was possible for things to go that well or go that far or transcend to that place. So yeah, in terms of what to harvest, it's just about being prepared for the kind of this progression that's happening or that's coming for you.
Mm-hmm. So that's the 8 of Wands, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So what needs tending is I have the King of Wands. I'm going to go back to this idea of this. What needs tending is you are smarter than you give yourself credit for, and what needs tending is you need to be paying attention to the things to where you have been putting your time and attention, because like this falcon, you have you're really accurate. So pay attention to what you say, because it's very, very accurate, and words can heal or they can hurt. So pay very close attention to the things that you're thinking as well as what you're saying with that.
This is interesting. What needs celebrating? I've got the tower for you. We don't often think about the tower as a way of celebrating. This card, for some strange reason, are you two familiar with the Rocky Horror Show?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I was going to say,
I'm Gerald. Yeah.
Hi, yeah. I just needed to check that one. You know, at the end of the Rocky Horror Show, when they've gone through the whole thing and then it's all blown up and Brad and Janet are crawling through the bricks and the smoke and they're kind of, all their outfits are ripped. It's kind of like it's all over. It's imploded. It's come collapsing around their ears, a bit like this card. But we celebrate the fact that they've been on this journey and that they've actually unlocked a lot of characters in their life, and they've they've experimented and they've done all sorts of things that they wouldn't normally have come across. And I think that is what this card is telling you, is celebrate the things that may not normally have happened, or things that may have you may have dismissed in the past, because it's one of those things. Don't be sad because it's over. Be happy because it happened. That kind of sentimentality that's going on there. So, I don't know what this is that's broken it down, but perhaps that is something that you will be able to answer for yourself. But there is a joy in this finality, and the ability to now move on to the next phase and celebrate that. Take that moment for the dust to settle, and then party in the rubble.
Mm-hmm. Well, and in that rubble is where you find some gems that have been hidden.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
There you go. All right. And it was just one card there, Ritchie, right?
That's all I felt I needed.
Okay. Thank you, Akila. Debbie, Aquarius Owl, are you here? Linda, Jonathan, Jane, and Positive Transformations with Mari. If you all are here, please let us know. So, yes, don't dream it, be it.
Be it. Exactly.
Yep. I was actually just listening to that.
Wow.
So, Debbie is here. Oh, avert your gaze. Avert your gaze. I don't want to, make Debbie nauseous, as she's probably work lurking or driving. So that's not a good thing.
These gays being averted all over the place.
I know.
Well, Pride Month was last month, right? But I think Pride Month is every month.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would be very vapid, wouldn't it?
Well played, my friend.
Thank you.
Yes. And Mari is still here. Yeah. Yes, work lurking. I figured, okay, so what needs harvesting for Debbie? Debbie, I have the Knight of Batons for you. What needs harvesting is you've got these good ideas. You have these inspirations, and it's time to harvest those inspirations and actually move them forward a little bit. And perhaps I do feel it's more you doing it rather than somebody else doing it. But I'm just going to say this. Get your watercolors out and make some paintings. Do something creative, because it's going to help you manifest that stuff and harvest it, because then you put it out there into the universe.
Loving this. what needs tenting, from the Knight of Batons to the King of Wands, or rods in this case there.
And they're looking at each other.
I know, look at them. Hello, hello. And I don't think the King of Wands for hello, something like that. Anyway. Yeah, so interesting. You're talking about being, channeling those arts, doing all of that. What needs tending? Just because you think you have learned something, we never stop learning. A bit like the tarot, we never ever stop learning tarot. There's always going to be another book, another video, another piece of wise words to come along that will make us rethink everything that we do. And so, when it comes to what needs tending, just keep building on what's happening. It's about mastering from that Knight energy to the King energy. The King of Wands is somebody who is out there. He's well known. He's a master of what he does, but he never stops being a king. He's always still one step on from mastering something new, from still learning, from still growing, from experimenting. So, yeah.
Nice.
So I've got another man for you. I've got the King of Pentacles. So I have. So you get 3 court cards, Debbie. You've got 3 men, and you've got 3 men reading for you. Now look at that. So in this King of Pentacles, do you see in his hand he's holding these mountains? So, like, even through like kind of other readings that Gerald and Ritchie were given there, like, you've been through a lot. You've overcome a lot of challenges to a point where, the mountains, which at one point seemed insurmountable, do you know what I mean? They seemed like something that you just couldn't get past. The king now holds them in the palm of his hand. So not only has he overcome them, but it's his tool, it's his weapon, it's his superpower now. He can, it's not just something that he's done that and that's in the past. It's something that he can use going forward. Do you know what I mean? Not only do we see mountains in the palm of his hand, but his pentacle is actually placed over his heart. So potentially we're looking at some work that you've done. I was talking earlier on about the 4 of Pentacles and linking that to the sense of self-worth, and I felt looking at that 4 with that big pentacle covering the person, it's almost like they're covering themselves up. Whereas the king realizes that his true value lies within. Do you know what I mean? And that's a lesson that he's learned through a lot of Knight of Wands and King of Wands, but he's got there. It has presented challenges, but he's got there in the end. Just to generally talk about the King of Pentacles, this is someone who's kind of got all of their ducks in a row. Their life is pretty much, everything's organized and everything's, what am I trying to blooming say? I've lost it. But it's like everything's kind of a well managed and everything's kind of just all words escape me. But it just feels like you've done a lot, you've achieved a lot, and that's what needs to be celebrated.
I love it. Okay, so there's 3 court cards then.
Yep.
So there you go. Thank you, Debbie. And I know Debbie is work lurking. So, and Linda De Gonzalez is up, and then Jonathan Daly. Please let me know that you're still here. And oops, Fun Boy, readings are closed for this session. So, and Debbie said, "Thank you, gentlemen." You're welcome. And Linda is here.
Hi, Linda.
And Debbie says that she has been painting like crazy.
Ooh,
good. And Suzanne Wood said, this reading format is interesting, each taking an aspect of the reading with personal interpretation. It works.
Yeah.
So, all right, I'll stop talking.
This one's interesting. I might need some input here, gents. What needs harvesting? I've got 2 sad cards. I've got the 3 of Swords, and I've got the 5 of Cups, both of which have a real element of sadness about them all there. So, you know, what needs harvesting? Perhaps do we say that that's the emotions that are attached with that letting things go, perhaps let go of the emotions that have held you back. You know, have a good cry, get it out your system, because now it's time for clearing, that healing process to actually start there with that one there. Of course, with the 5 of Cups, we always think of the broken cups, but there's still always 1 or 2 cups that have been missed off and absolutely perfectly fine. So, you know, what needs harvesting in that case? Look for the things that are still there, the things that can help you restore your faith, restore your love, restore your emotions there. So I'm sorry I haven't got any nicer cards there for you, Linda, but gents, I'm going to pass that one over to you.
Okay.
Okay. So I've got the Knight of Swords as the thing that needs tending. So Ritchie's obviously dealing with some pretty emotional energies there, some pretty emotional cards. And the only thing I would say is, you know, you give yourself the space that you need to deal with whatever it is that you're dealing with there. The Knight, the crucial thing about the Knight here is that they are kind of like holding that sword and kind of like they're jabbing it into what looks like the sun here, you know. There's a place for attacking things with your logic and with your thoughts. Do you know what I mean? There's a place for like really like kind of analyzing things to death. You 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 may I don't know you that I don't know you well, Linda, but maybe you're an air sign. Maybe you're just kind of you've got a lot of air in your chart. Maybe you're kind of a way of dealing with things as to think your way out of them. That's fine, and it definitely has its place, and there's going to be a time for you to do that. But what needs tending to me, this is saying you need to give yourself space to actually, what Richie was saying, you know, if you need to have a good cry, then do that, but just give yourself the space to heal. That 5 of Cups, like, people are going to try and tell you, oh, but you know, and it's not even in a bad way, but often when we're going through something difficult, people's first instinct is to kind of try and point out all the good stuff that we've still got going on, and that's them trying to be helpful and trying to be nice, but it can sometimes feel really invalidating when people are saying, oh, you know, it almost feels like people are saying, oh, but you're not being grateful because you've got all this good stuff going on, and it's like, just fuck off. Do you know what I mean? Like I need to deal with this stuff just now. I need to deal with the fact that 3 of my cups have been knocked over. I'll be my logical self, and I'll turn around and I'll see those other cups when I'm in a position to do so. But for now, I'm going to take the time and just be in that emotional place. So just you give yourself the time and don't feel like you need to get better or be better or, you know, turn it all around for the sake of other people. Just look after yourself.
Well, yes, look after yourself. And what needs celebrating? I have the 9 of Bloom, which is gravity fruits, desire, habits, and pleasure. After all of the stuff that Ritchie and Chris were sharing, it's time for you to take a break, figure out exactly how you're feeling. You know, and if you want to go out for a nice meal, go out for a nice meal, because that helps you to get back into your body after the emotional and the thought processes. And this is one of those things to where I think celebrate the habits that you have that support your overall well-being. So, and there you go, Linda. Yeah. I will be reading with Linda on Thursday, so on her channel. So I'm looking forward to that. And okay. And thank you, Linda. So Jonathan is up. And then a minute. And we've just got about 10 minutes. So we will try to be as efficient as we can. And so then Jane and Mari. So, all right.
Okay. This is the second time the Eight of Pentacles has come up for me, but this time it's in the context of what needs to be harvested. So this to me is like the whole practice makes perfect type mentality, or the slow and steady wins the race. What needs harvesting? You probably feel like there's a shitload of stuff that needs harvested right now, to be totally honest, Jonathan, but this is about, appreciating where you've come from, appreciating just how good you've gotten at what you're doing, and just keep on chipping away at it, keep on going, keep on working on the stuff that you need to work on, and that'll get you to where you want to be. You've gained a certain sense of skill and mastery over what it is that you're doing, and I feel like that's you need to kind of harvest that, the self-belief that should rightly come with that.
Mm-hmm. And so what needs tending is I have strength, perseverance. You have to stay with the projects that you're working on. You have to stick with what you're doing, especially in this time of harvesting, to make sure that what you are putting in there, you are actually going to be able to harvest. So stick with it. It's hot, it's sweaty, it's gross, but keep going out into the fields and working on the things that you need to work on, Jonathan. So.
And I absolutely repeat that, because I've got the King of Wands here, and this chap here is covered in fire. He has been working hard. He's hot. He's sweaty there. And that is the thing that needs celebrating. It also means that all the hard work that you've put in, Jonathan, recently, it's now time to own it. Okay, own that space, own that energy. And yeah, the celebration comes from within with the King of Wands. He's very good at giving his energy out to the world, and being part of the fun part of the King of Wands. He's a very fun-loving, warm, friendly person that needs to shine, that needs to burn. He's holding that wand there. It's burning like a torch. So don't lose touch of that one, and celebrate the successes and your personal attributes.
So there you go, Jonathan. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Jane, and then Mari. So avert your gaze.
Right, Jane.
And by the way, Linda did say, thank you. You guys hit the nail on the head. Yes, difficult emotional days around me now.
Oh, bless you.
So. Oh my goodness. So what needs harvesting? I have the King of Batons. we've been having the king show up a lot. So this is what needs harvesting.
Now.
Oh, you got strength. So I think, Jane, what needs harvesting is you need to understand that the energy and the creativity and the inspiration that you have, go ahead and harvest it. You've been working hard at that. You are mature about it. So embrace it. Embrace those things that give you power. Embrace the things that just really, really you exude, and then you also inspire others around you, Jane. So harvest that and appreciate that.
And I'm going to go a little bit further, because I think there's somebody that needs your help organizing something, whether it's a close friend or member of the family. You've got two beautiful cards, the Four of Wands and the Ten of Cups there. This speaks of families, celebrations, parties, perhaps a wedding. I don't know if that's what's going on you've got something planned, or perhaps somebody close to you is organizing a big event. I think they need help with it. I think they need that King of Wands energy that you have stepping in to help with the organization of it. Because look how that rainbow is shining brightly there. We've got lots of bows here. If I turn that upside down, and it almost looks like the same swag that's going on there.
Oh yeah.
It's like you need to bring your joy, you need to bring your love, your understanding of the whole situation to it, because other people need your help in organizing something lovely.
Yeah. So when I pulled the Eight of Pentacles before, Ritchie pulled Strength. I then pulled the Eight of Pentacles, and just that last reading, the Gerald pulled Strength, and Ritchie pulled the King of Wands. Now Gerald has pulled the King of Wands, and I've pulled Strength. So there's a weird, there's weird witchy things going on right now, folks. I just wanted to point that out. In terms of what you need to celebrate, it's very simply yourself, your own kind of a sense of achievement, your self confidence. I think this feels like, because like we see someone who's kind of a very much one with the lion here, but that's not the whole picture when it comes to strength. The strength card is a journey. You know, it's not just one image. It's a short film where we see someone wrestling with that line, where we see someone kind of a coming to terms with, you know, maybe those parts of themselves that they're a bit ashamed of or not so confident about. Slowly but surely, they come to kind of gain that control over it. So yeah, I think this is about celebrating yourself and how far you've come.
Yeah, I love that.
I'm loving it.
Thank you, Jane. That's great. And Marion K. Tarot is here. Thank you.
Hi, Marion.
And our last reading, which we will do as efficiently as possible, is it's Mari.
All the cards.
So yes,
I want.
Yes, you can pull as many. Richie, you can pull as many cards as you want. Period. Going forward. I mean, that is a blanket statement.
Thank you. The new rules of Longstash.
Yes, the new rules of Longstash. And by the way, Ken said, interesting that the kings have been so prevalent in Lammas Lunasa readings, given the motif sacrificial corn king.
Yeah.
That's true. And all right.
Okay, I have the Three of Pentacles. We have the teamwork, working hard, the efficient running smoothly of the well-oiled machine that is teamwork there. Partnered up with the Five of Wands here on this one there. This looks quite aggressive, this Five of Wands. It's almost like somebody perhaps hasn't quite been playing the game as everybody else was expecting. And there seems to be a little bit of certainly tension that's going on. Normally the Five of Wands looks a bit like a dance or a game that's going on that looks like it could get out of hand. Here, this is definitely some cross words that may have been fired across the bows of this one there. So what needs harvesting is the fact that your work is complete, or it was going well, it's going smoothly. But just watch out for this person that may be just being a little bit too argumentative, or perhaps too demonstrative, or trying to take control. That could be you as well. I don't know. But, you know, that's what needs harvesting. It needs almost nipping in the bud if there is this person who is trying to just take over, trying not to be a team player, which is what the message is with the Three of Pentacles.
Nice.
Very interesting. I've done a Ritchie and I've got two cards for you, Mary.
Well,
So
I'll give you my blessing on that. Mm.
Oh, thanks. The name of the game is Transformation with the Death card. But the Three of Wands is just giving us a bit of context around that. So I feel as though there's some sort of big change, some big transformation that you're trying to bring about. The Three of Wands suggests to me, so the Three of Wands talks about the things that we're putting our energies into, all right? We're sending our ships out to, you know, to go out into the world and do different things. But does anyone else feel as though there's just always that sense of like waiting and watching and kind of just a sense of kind of waiting for something to happen with the Three of Wands? So it's like, on one hand, I'm feeling like this is the sub, you know, where we're talking about what you're doing, the actions that you're taking, but it's almost like there's a feeling of like, I'm holding back, I'm waiting, I'm watching. So I feel as though you're wanting to bring about this big transformation, this big change that's kind of crucial to you right now. But it's a question of like, are you doing everything that you need to do in order to bring that about, Mary? Do you know what I mean? maybe you are, which is great, but it's just that this is what that's asking you to think about. Am I doing everything that I could be doing, that I should be doing in order to bring about this change? Or is there maybe a wee bit of me that's kind of a sitting back and hoping that the universe will just take care of it for me and that I won't need to get my hands too dirty?
Yeah. Well, and what needs celebrating is this is the helical chronograph, which is the king of mechanisms. And what's interesting is that part of what you were saying, Chris, it's like, you know, when do you do the things that you need to do? It's almost like, so this is about endings, beginnings, and positive outcomes. So it really feels like what needs celebrating is the work that you have been doing has allowed endings to end and beginnings to begin, and you need to celebrate that. So this is about the sun. So I think this is a key thing. Notice what's going on. So, and it's got a positive outcome. Whatever you're thinking about, notice those positive outcomes.
Jump in with this card here, because this card has got the makings of a watch face or clock that's going on really nicely with your chronography and clocks and things in your final card there.
So thanks for letting us read for you. Okay. We are at our time. So thank you, everybody. I appreciate you being here. And thank you all. Please like and subscribe to everyone's channels. And we will say farewell. And thank you for being here. Bye.
Bye.
Thank